Welcome back to Amplify with Purpose, Business and Life Unlocked. I'm your host, Odette, and today marks the third installment of our exploration into the realm of happiness. We have the pleasure of welcoming back the insightful Janine as our guest. So, if you've missed it, there are two other episodes before this. In our previous episodes, we delved into practical hacks with Janine. We spoke about the science of happiness. And today we are talking about the transformative journey and the world of the power of positive thinking and the journey to happiness. Welcome back, Janine.
Thank you, Odette. This is absolutely one of my favorite topics. The Power of Positive Thinking is actually a book that I read of many years ago. I was actually still in primary school, of Norman Vincent Peale, and it's one of the books that actually changed my life. It's such simple practices that we can follow on a daily basis, and we don't have to overcomplicate any of these things. And power of positive thinking creates the power of a positive life.
Absolutely. So positive thinking isn't just about seeing the glass half full. It's actually about understanding the profound impact it has on our happiness. So we'll also explore the personal journeys that lead to happiness and the reward that waits. So Janine, let's start off with the benefits of optimism. How does cultivating a positive outlook on life contribute to our happipiness?
Well, we've seen it so many times, but it actually increases your lifespan, because somebody that is depressed or going through depression don't see the point of life anymore, So if we are happy and we have a positive mindset, we actually have the ability to see the future. But if we don't have that, then obviously it won't increase our lifespan, because we won't see the day of tomorrow. So that's one of the things. When we have a positive mind, or we think positive, it actually supercharges our energy at the end of the day, because you're going to be like, yeah, I'm ready for this day. Let's do this, because you're positive, right? If you're negative, you're going to be like, oh my word. You know what, when is Friday coming? And can you see the whole body language changes from positivity to negativity? So it increases your lifespan, it supercharges your energy. You obviously feel more confident, right? And just before the show, I was like, yeah, that's what it is. When you start with confidence, I wrote it down here. When you start with confidence and you watch your problems shrink, that's exactly what happens. The moment you are positive and you have confidence, your problems will also shrink. And it improves your quality of sleep when you are positive, because when you're negative, you lie there, you think about all the stuff, you top about it, and you just don't get to solutions. But when you are positive and you are confident, then you will have that problem solving ability and skills in order to do that. It obviously lowers your depression levels, and you become more resilient, simply because of your outlook on life. You become more resilient, therefore you are able to solve problems, so you get through stuff easier. And you know that I also always say is, you don't get over stuff. There's no such thing. We have to move through stuff. If you get over it, it's coming back. If you get through it, you've conquered it.
Absolutely. So basically, optimism is like your beacon of life. It helps you to see opportunities in challenges and live a brighter future. So I want to talk about this real quick. We spoke about it in the Business with Altitude Summit. When you are stressed or in a negative space of mind, you often go into what I call the cortex vortex. And in that space, you can't see opportunities. You just heard Janine say it. In the cortex vortex, it's all about the problem, and you get fixated. Like, if you guys have dogs, you'll know, if you take your dog for a walk and they see another dog, they get fixated on the other dog, and you can't walk because this dog is like dragging you off. That's exactly what happens to us as humans when we start getting fixated on our problems and we get stressed, which means you don't think. Your brain is in survival mode, and you've disconnected from the logical brain that has the ability to find its way out of challenges. So studies actually show that optimistic individuals tend to have a better mental and physical health. They have stronger relationships, and it also obviously increases your overall happiness, which is why we're having this conversation. What influences that is our internal dialogue, self-talk. It plays a significant role in shaping our thoughts and our emotions. So, Janine, how can we harness the power of positive self-talk?
Well, it starts on the inside. How you talk to yourself is very important. You know, I thought about it the other day, and I say this often when I coach, is you shouldn't criticize yourself. So think about this. And I've used the example in marriage where if you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh my word, look at the cellulite. Oh my goodness, look at these, you know, people do them like, look at these arms. And you say that out loud. First of all, you believe it. And now you're telling your husband, this is what he needs to believe about you. 2 weeks from now, right, when he doesn't give you a compliment on how you look like, then you tell him again, you don't like how I look like, you this. That's the worst thing you can do. But you taught him to think that way about you. So self-talk starts at the core. It starts with you. I am not saying parade in front of the mirror and say, oh, look at my beautiful body. But I'm just saying, don't talk negative about yourself because you are telling other people how they should feel about you when you say it out loud, right? Yeah. So self-talk starts at the core. It starts on the inside. You have to combat negative self-talk. You have to, like, I want to say, tell yourself, no, hold on, that's wrong. You have to correct yourself when it comes to self-talk. If, you know, this is what we were taught. If you can't say something nice, keep quiet. Yes. The same saying goes for you. If you can't say something nice about yourself, then keep quiet. You are the only one that can build yourself up. Other people can encourage you for the moment. But if we talk about happiness, and we want to talk about joy, you know, long term, it starts here. You are the only person that can encourage yourself and talk yourself into a better place. So you have to combat that negative self-talk. Like, you have to just tell yourself, it ain't you are not welcome here. It's only good things.
Absolutely. So guys, positive self-talk involves actually challenging negative beliefs and replacing them and with affirming statements. So Craig Groeschel's book, The War on the Mind, he's actually got a process that he talks about, the process where he goes, you have to identify the issue, your negative thinking, your wrong thinking. You need to replace it with a positive thinking, and then you need to keep doing that. Because remember, the more you think negatively, the bigger the tracks go in your brain. So you keep making holes, and because you keep walking down that negative road, your brain starts to think that's how it should be. And actually, guys, it's not. You get to program that any way you want. So program it to be good and smart and clever and happy and positive. So when it comes to changing your inner narrative, you also have to have compassion with yourself. I didn't grow up hugely positive. I grew up quite negative, real pessimist. I was like, oh, it's going to storm. And then the tree's going to fall over in the pool. It's just going to happen. And then we can't swim. That was me growing up. I was not the one going, oh, it's going to rain and it's going to bring flowers. That was not me. But you can train yourself and you can change the way that you show up. And then don't beat yourself up when you make a mistake. It's like Janine said, you get to notice the thought. The thinker observes the thoughts. You are the thinker. Observe the thoughts and go, is this positive? Is it negative? Does this serve me? And if it doesn't serve me, how do I replace it so that it can serve me? Just on that note, sometimes our negative thinking serves us because we get to pity ourselves or we get to be the victim. And that's not good, guys. You have to recognize when you are serving, your thoughts are serving a negative aspect of your ego, because that is no good. That's the realm of getting stuck in social media stuff and all the, oh, I'm not pretty enough. That is not good. You want to identify when your thought is negative. And even if you are getting a kick out of being the victim, choose not to be the victim, because victims actually, they never win the day. It's the hero that wins the day. The hero is the person who takes action. And then, of course, you can boost your confidence and resilience that leads to greater happiness when you actually start talking to yourself in a positive manner. Part of this is obviously what you can see. And it's all about visualization. It's a tool that's often used in personal development. There's a billion-dollar industry on it. So, Janine, how can it aid our journey towards happiness?
Well, one thing I want to say, the other day I walked into a client's office and I was at the reception ready to go into my meeting. And a lady walked out, one of the staff walked out of a meeting that she was in the boardroom, and she walks out and she says out loud, "I always fail in this meeting." And I wasn't there for coaching because I really, really wanted to just say something there. But actually, I just wanted to hug her because I also understand that feeling. We are not saying these things, Odette, because we don't know how the other side feels. It's like you said, we come and come from and been in these places. Therefore, we know we can live a different life, right? And her mind and her thinking is, I always fail at these meetings. And I just wanted to say to her, but how will it look like if you succeed?
Yes.
How, if you always fail at these meetings, it means that you have these regularly. So therefore you can prepare for them. And part of your preparation is that I'm going to succeed at these meetings. We all have those places in the workplace or those meetings in the workplace that always challenges you, that always makes you feel worse when you go out and when you go in, but what can you do to change that by walking into that meeting differently? It is not just at home. It is not just in your marriage or children. It's life. It is business. It is clients. It is all those things that we need to look at. And when we look at, like you said, we do the positive self-talk, we practice gratitude, we've spoken about that, then we start seeing the whole picture differently. Right? And that's what we want to talk about. We need to identify those areas that we can improve in or that we should improve in, because I'm not as great yet here as what I want to be. Not I'm failing again. I'm not as great here as what I want to be. You need to spend time with positive people, because when you spend time with positive people, you start to see the world positively, right?
Yes.
And your outlook on life is going to change. When you take care of your physical health, you're going to start feeling more energetic. You're going to see changes in your body, believe it or not. You're going to see it. You're going to be like, oh my word, I look better. I feel better. I've got more energy. I can go longer in the day. You're not going to be as tired. So the next time you walk into a meeting that used to be difficult, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I've actually got energy for this. My mind is at a different place because I've surrounded myself with better people. Again, the look of it and the outlook is so much better. And I think it's important to treat yourself as well. We spoke about celebrating the victories, but treat yourself to something that you enjoy and that's going to make you feel better. Your morning and evening routines are extremely important. How you start the day and how you end the day is extremely important. It's really going to help you with the outlook, the positivity, how you see the world, because you have a proper way of starting and ending. And I think the last thing for me is remember to laugh. Sometimes life is way too serious and way too difficult. And sometimes just by laughing, we can make it a little bit easier for ourselves.
Absolutely. By vividly imagining our desired outcomes, we create active neural pathways in the brain associated with our goals. And laughter is the best medicine. So, guys, give yourself a giggle, but one of those real full belly giggles where you like, it hurts, those are the best. And when you get up from there, you're like, oh, I feel so much better. It's also not only that we enhance motivation, but we also help in manifesting our dreams and fostering happiness. So Zig Ziglar said it the best: what the mind can see, the mind can achieve. That's why dream boards are so powerful. You can see it, so then you can work towards it. And like Janine said, for those ladies out there who have been working on paying attention to not having a chocolate every day, girls, I know it's hard. I know, I feel you, but you feel so much better when you're like, oh, this scale is on my side. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't need that chocolate. You can just take that chocolate away. Thank you. And suddenly you have more willpower. So remember, what the mind can see, the mind can achieve. Janine, as you know, words create worlds. So how can our choice of words impact our pursuits of happiness?
Everything we do is surrounded by that. We've spoken about how to speak to yourself and how to change your own outlook on life. But when we look at our goals, just something that I can maybe help you with on the work front, and this is something that I used to do and still do, because I may be the authority in my workplace, but I'm not the authority everywhere else, right? When it comes to like promotion and things that's going to help you later, is the fastest way to success is to raise your hand and say, I can help and I can do this. And then when you've said yes, you do it fast. That will help you also to change your mindset on success, on happiness, because you might not always have the solution when you start off with that idea, but it's going to help you, it's going to train you, it's going to get you to that place, it's going to help you to set new goals, it's going to help you to have a new outlook on life, it's going to challenge you. I always tell my team, you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and those things helps with that. You can put yourself in uncomfortable situations. I prefer putting myself in an uncomfortable situation and then learning the way through than somebody else putting me in an uncomfortable situation. And this is part of the thing of happiness and self-talk and all of that, because what happens is we know exactly. We spoke about it earlier to say we have to identify the places where we're not as great and where we know we need to grow. We have to speak the truth and identify where we need to grow. So we know that I'm not great with presentations. Let's call it that. Let's use a work example. I'm not great with presentations and slide decks because I can do it. But when I have to stand there in front of the people and the management and I have to convince them, I fail a little bit at that. I struggle with that. That is not my best thing to do. So first of all, you knew that because you told yourself that, okay? So you know what it is. But instead, this is what people do. Instead of going and putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation and learning how to do that, you let people time and time and time and again put you in that uncomfortable situation when they say, come and present. Yes. So part of what we need to do is to develop this positive mindset and this positive life and positive, together with our goals, our self-talk and all of that, is put yourself in an uncomfortable situation where you know you need improvement. Because when you put yourself in that situation, you can help yourself, coach yourself, or get a coach, get a life coach, get a mentor and help them. You've already identified it because you're talking negative about the situation. That's one of the first things. When that negative self-talk starts, don't get negative about it, get excited about it, because now you know that's where I need improvement. That's where I can make a change. That's where I can get myself in an uncomfortable situation in order to become comfortable without other people putting me there.
Absolutely. It's all about living life outside your comfort zone, because in comfort zones, dreams die. That's the graveyard of dreams, but you have to choose. And if, guys, what Janine says is 100% true. If you don't choose to be uncomfortable and stretch yourself so that you can learn and grow, life will throw things at you. That's just life. The world around you is ever evolving, ever growing, ever expanding. That's why a baby is born every second. If the world is expanding, what makes you think that you can stay exactly the same? You are part of this world ecosystem. You have to expand with it. And if you don't, things will come your way that will force you. And then you're the victim. Then life happens to you. But you have a choice. Life can happen because you make it happen. So guys, words are incredibly powerful. The language we use not only reflects your thoughts, but it also shapes your reality. Positive words and affirmations can shift your mindset and attract positive experiences, because what you say is what you create. Words create worlds. It's like speaking happiness into existence. The thing about words is that they have the power to make you feel anything. Negative words make you feel negative, and positive, life-giving words make you feel alive. And since everything starts with the heart, the feeling, our words touch us and those around us first. And when we use our words to create elevated emotions, that's when you actually start influencing your mind. So you're sitting here going, yes, I hear you. How do I fix the mind? It starts with the words that you use. If you are using negative words, you are programming your brain. You are influencing your brain and the people around you to be negative around you, because that's what you're training them to do. And guess what? It starts with the heart, it influences the mind, and then it empowers the hands. Either way, empowerment of the hands can be for good or bad. You can empower your hands to grow a life that is big and beautiful and full of life, or you can empower your hands to create a dull, boring life that you just don't enjoy. You have to touch your heart to influence your mind, to empower your hands. Your words create your worlds. So let's shift our focus just a little bit to the journey of happiness. Janine, what are some of the common challenges and obstacles that people face on this journey towards happiness?
Lack of confidence is definitely the biggest one. So we don't have confidence because, like I said earlier, we don't speak to ourselves enough to tell us that we are competent, we have confidence, we can do this, you've done this over and over again, you have the skill, and the lack of confidence is self-doubt. So if I truly believe that the future belongs to the creatives, the confident, and the competent people. So if you can help yourself to understand that I am creative, in other words, and I'm not talking graphic design here, Odette, I'm talking about problem-solving skills. If I'm creative in problem-solving skills because I believe in myself and I have encouraged myself and told myself that I know that I can do this, right? I'm creative. I've got the confidence to do this because I have put myself in uncomfortable situations in order to become comfortable with those things. Then, therefore, I have the confidence and I'm competent because that is the reason I'm in this position today. That is the reason that they employed me, because I'm competent to do that. Not only they think so, but I need to also think so.
Absolutely. And you've said it before, competence creates confidence. Like you can't have the one without the other. The other, if you have confidence but no competence, it's false. And it'll fall flat on its face. And then you're going to feel terrible about it and go down the downward spiral. So guys, the path to happiness isn't always smooth. We're not suggesting that it's going to be easy, because guess what? Life's not, right? People often encounter challenges like setbacks, self-doubt, and even external pressures. But remember, the mere fact that you're under pressure means that there's something that needs to come out of that. You will not face a challenge if there wasn't something in you to overcome the challenge. I firmly believe it. Your presence of your enemy, it's like David and Goliath, the presence of your enemy is evidence that there is greatness inside of you. So it's essential for us to remember that we have to be resilient and persevere. Yes, challenges will come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So you have to choose. Am I going to give up? And if you do, please stop listening to the show. Or I am going to get up, dust myself off, because it's perfectly normal and human to go through stuff and to go, oh, this was a terrible day. That's perfectly normal. But we don't stay there. We get up, we dust ourselves off, and we choose again to go again. You don't just stop. So happiness is a journey. It's not a destination. It's not like you're going to turn left and arrive at happiness. It's not how it works. You are going to be on this journey, and you'll find on this journey that you are happy today, and tomorrow maybe you wake up and you're grumpy, and then you get to choose happiness again. So Janine, as we conclude this enlightening discussion, I'd like us to share one practical tip with the audience to enhance their happiness today. For me, it's about the power of touch, influence, and empower. You have to first touch the heart with a gratitude journal. Then you have to work on the innermost parts of the heart. From there, the mind will be influenced with life-giving words, which will empower your behavior. Janine, what is your one tip for our audience today?
I want to sum it up as what I just said, is to remember that the future belongs to the confident, the competent, and the creative. So make sure that you empower yourself with your personal self-talk in order to make a truly lasting impact on the world.
Absolutely. Thank you, Janine, for joining us once again and shedding light on the power of positive thinking and the journey to happiness. That concludes our episode of Amplify with Purpose, Business and Life Unlocked. We've uncovered the transformative power of positive thinking and the profound journey you go on towards happiness. So stay tuned for more insights and inspiration as we continue to amplify every area of your life. And remember, no one is coming. You are the hero of your own story. And we're here to provide you with the tools and knowledge to amplify your happiness. So stay curious, stay positive, and stay on your journey to happiness.